Man, oh man. One Piece chapter 1037 is out, and man, oh man, it was a doozy. It's such an amazing chapter. A lot of things are happening between Kaido and between Luffy, and not only that, but within the world government and what is to come within the future of One Piece and within the story alone. Man, there's a lot of things that this chapter has pretty much brought to the table. Not only that, but a sort of mystery that ended in this chapter, allowing us to sort of assume that something bigger is on the way. And I'm not quite sure if it has to do with Luffy, if it has to do with Zunisha, or even if it has to do with Momo. But there is something major that is happening that is going to end up happening within the next few chapters. And this chapter is the sort of the catalyst of something more important to come. But before we talk about the chapter, let's talk about the fact that this has been a long time coming. I haven't made a YouTube video about One Piece for a minute, for a very long time, but I'm back, and this is the perfect chapter to actually start off the first real chapter of this year. And before we continue with the video, if this is your first time, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It will help me out. Put the notification bell if you are interested in my videos. And just hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It will really help me out. It will allow a lot of people to see my videos. So please help a brother out. It will really mean a lot to me. But let's get back to the video and let's talk about this chapter. Now, in the beginning of the One Piece chapter 1037, we go back to the Wano Kuni and the Fire Festival and how Oda is sort of panning out between the fight and how the citizens are acting. Between these two cutscenes, we can still tell that the citizens don't really know that the fight is going on and that their wishes is coming through between them actually getting released from the tyranny that Kaido and Orochi has been having over them, and their ignorance that they're going through because they really don't know what is happening at the moment. But it also gives us a time frame on what the citizens are actually doing and how close we're actually getting towards the end of this fight. And I love that Oda is sort of integrating that within the story because it shows us the whole entire world building of the chapter. Now, heading back to the Kaido and Luffy fight, the fight alone and the amount of action that this chapter has been having is actually quite spectacular. Luffy is starting to adapt to the fighting style of Kaido, but also of a Yonko, which is actually showing us how much Luffy has increased in strength and in skill and the possibility that he has within the future alone. This fight is showing us that Luffy still can be strong or even stronger than he is right now because he hasn't been using his powers within the fight. He's just been using gear 1, gear 2, gear 3, but hasn't been using his strongest gear, which begs me or makes me sort of think that he has a sort of plan that the final all-out battle between these two, Luffy will end up using his gear 4 to sort of cement his win against Kaido. And that is coming, and he's trying very hard to sort of adapt his newfound powers within that gear without exhausting himself. And we're going to end up seeing that throughout the story. But it's sort of weird because Oda sort of integrated something outside of this fight, and that is the reverie. Some people are sort of looking over the fact that the reverie didn't turn out as the Gorosei wanted it to be. And I'm not quite sure why the Gorosei said that. It's quite interesting that the Gorosei doesn't quite agree with how the reverie turned out, yet they abolished the warlord system and also was able to, quote unquote, defeat Sabo. So there has to be something that actually happened that Oda is not telling us yet that affects the world government and affects the Gorosei, as well as something that is shifting the power of the world government with the new pirate era that is going to come. But something that the Gorosei said was a specific fruit that has not awakened. And I'm going to slightly talk about what that means, but I also will end up coming up with another video because there's something that I feel that Oda is linking Zuniesha to. And this fruit that hasn't awakened may be Zunisha's fruit or even Luffy's fruit. But one of these two major characters within the story has something to do with the future of the world government and the future of the Gorosei and a future threat that may be coming. And it shows within this chapter. But the Gorosei mentioning this makes me believe that something important is coming, and that's just not Zunisha. Back when we were in the Thriller Bark arc, we sort of see the same sort of eyes that Zunisha was portrayed to have within this chapter. But in the chapter that I'm mentioning in the Thriller Bark arc, there was multiple eyes that had the same eyes that Zunisha was showing within this chapter, which makes me believe that the fruit that is awakened has to do with the connection between these two events. And Oda will end up explaining that more on within the future, of course, but I feel like the fruit that has awakened has to do with this specific event. And it doesn't really have to do much with Luffy, but in case of Luffy actually awakening his devil fruit, and that is what the Gorosei is talking about, well, it just makes it seem that Luffy's devil fruit may be the most overpowered devil fruit within the whole entire series, which I don't think that's what they're leading to. So Zunisha playing a huge part towards the ending of this chapter and the ending of this war seems more likely and seems more probable to the actual effect of the world government. Not only that, the fact that they were panning out, or Oda panned out to the world government and the ships sort of surrounding Wano Kuni, makes me think that in one of my previous videos that I mentioned a long time ago, that Momonosuke will end up being the main person to take care of the world government, that final threat that Oda mentioned a long time ago. And this threat seems to be the world government, and the fact that they're trying to take over Wano makes it seem that Momo is a person that will definitely play a part towards the ending of the war, and that Momo would definitely end up being a person that is cemented as the main person or the main king of Wano. But this chapter was something that had to happen. It has to happen because it was something that allowed us to sort of view or sort of think of something more interesting that has to do with Zunisha affecting the plans of the world government, which we've always thought that the world government couldn't quite find Zunisha and couldn't sort of attack Wano, and we knew that these two islands or these two lands would come together at some point of time to sort of help Luffy and his crew, but not only that, but cement their win against the Beast Pirates. But I will also be talking about another video about Kaido, because Kaido is a person that Oda seems to vaguely sort of connect to Luffy. How even with their clash and with their fight, it seems like they have two different ideals, and their ideals are going to be majorly affected after this war. That Kaido viewed himself in this battle and throughout his whole entire life as Joy Boy, and the real Joy Boy, who is Luffy, is something that is clashing with the fake Joy Boy, which is Kaido. So Oda seems to be sort of integrating something within the 400-year void between Luffy's and Kaido's fight, and also the connection that Zuniesha and Wano has with the world government. It's almost like this is the main thing that Oda wanted to get to, because this chapter will be the catalyst to what is to come within the 400-year void, and how it will literally answer a lot of questions within the future. But like I said before, guys, I'm going to be making way more videos, so if this is your first time watching one of my videos, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell while you are down there. And if you seen most of my videos and are subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit the like button. It will really help me out and also boost up the YouTube algorithm for me as well. And guys, I'll catch you guys in the next One Piece video.